Crew Pros, your single source for high-quality, affordable home services. If you are remodeling, repairing, or replacing, Crew Pros are the professionals that can do the job no matter the size. If you are thinking of remodeling your kitchen or bath, needing a new HVAC system, plumbing repairs, flooring, or a complete roof replacement, call Crew Pros. Crew Pros, proud sponsor of the Grizz 901 podcast.
Memphis. Nothing but Memphis. Everywhere we go, it's Memphis. Memphis, Tennessee, the beautiful land in the world.
And I'm thankful for this guy who tweeted and said, I don't have that fire in my eye no more. That game right there was for him. That's what I do. I prove people wrong each and every night, and that's for him right there.
Hi, this is Tom Izzo at Michigan State, and you're listening to Grizz 901.
What up, Grizz Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Grizz 901. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and this show, as always, is presented by State Farm, where they treat you like family. As always, this is our Monday show. Oh, wait, we never have a live Monday show, but we might as well go live. I am actually off work for the week, which is phenomenal. My entire family is surrounding me, except for they just went to the store. So it's even better. It's very quiet. You might see an animal move or two, but besides that, we're going to go ahead and get into it. You might have somebody else join us, but as of right now, the only guy that's with us is our midweek boo. He is Nathan Qualls. What's up, man?
I'm only here so I'll get fined. That seems to be the trend over the past couple of weeks, man. I'm here working a job that actually pays me, and then I'm going to be talking with you, sort of. I didn't even get to watch the last preseason game, so I'm going to be playing from behind the whole time. But I'm here. I'm going to bring some personality.
Well, hey, listen, that's all we can ask for. A little personality in our life. We're going to talk a little bit about the last game that kind of they had. It was, can we say, ugly? Is it okay if we just say it was just completely ugly? To say this lightly, I hate preseason basketball because people usually overreact. And I am not a guy who likes to overreact. I'm very even keel. I kind of just stay, on one platform the entire time for the simple fact that I never get too high. I never get too low because I just think that with sports, it can slap you in the face very quickly. And so I never try to get too over the moon on something that might happen and vice versa. So usually I'm very even keeled, but I have been overly excited about this Grizzlies team. And what's been really cool is in the preseason, you get to see these young guys. I don't take into context anything that Ja Morant's doing, Dillon Brooks doing, Desmond Bane's doing. I don't look at that and say, oh my God, these guys are on another level. I literally think they're trying to get in position, trying to get their body up, trying to try new things, trying to try new moves. Desmond Bane's trying to go over for the preseason. That's new, right? So maybe he's trying to get all his bad shots out so he can actually hit some shots during the week. But the Grizzlies, the last preseason game, they lost 108-111. If you stayed the whole time through the entire game, shout out to you. That was a tough game to watch. There was nobody on the other side of the ball for Miami that was playing that was any good. Duncan Robinson played, and he might not play a lot throughout the season. And so I'm curious.
Duncan Robinson looked like he did pretty good, but that's about all I got.
Yeah, no, Duncan Robinson, he played well, and obviously he went for 29 points. 5 of 7 from three-point line, which is amazing. But that's what he does. And if you listen to the broadcast, Brevin was on there the entire time talking about what else can Duncan Robinson do. And that's what I was looking for. What else is this guy good at? And don't get me wrong, if you want to have the Kyle Korver role of being the spot up three, you better figure out a way to be good defensively. Duncan Robinson, not good defensively at all. But he did hit 5 3-pointers. But in the end of the day, 29 minutes, 5 3-pointers. I don't know if he's getting 29 minutes in a regular season game. So, I think he's, as Luke says, I think he's just all about good hair and 3-point shots.
Sorry, I got completely distracted, but yes, that is correct. I'm trying to figure out how to join the chat still. I have not figured that out since the last show. So if I'm zoned out right now, that's why. Later, it'll be something else.
All right, well, let me help you just like I help everybody else. We are on YouTube. We're also on Twitter, going live stream. You can find us on Facebook. Nathan, right now, while you're on, you could probably go to our YouTube channel and actually comment that way. So even as a host or a co-host, you can still go in there and make comments. I can do it because I have the master controls. I can do it to anybody. I think it goes to every platform. But enough about me. The Grizzlies, honestly, Ja Morant looks like Ja Morant. He looks good. I don't think that the Grizzlies were too excited about playing against this team from Miami. They got up early and just kind of shut it down. You kind of throttle down, especially at that point. It's a preseason game. If you did lose, it's not that big a deal to lose a preseason game. So they throttled it back like a lot. And Ja Morant did not honestly try hard. And he ended up with 17 points. He looked fine. He looked good. Desmond Bane, he did have a 3-pointer. As Black Lives Matter said, you could see that they wanted to just get it over with. So I think that's really what it was. But two things I'm looking at in particular. One, Steven Adams, he looked amazing. He's not one of my two. Steven Adams looked really good, and he tried to punish people on the post, and that's really what we need throughout the regular season. Those times where you go into a lull and you have a mouse in the house, such as a smaller guy on you. I think that's something good you go with. You go into Steven Adams and honestly, just every now and then, 2 possessions a game, let him see if he can back somebody down.
Yeah, that was something that I was talking about going into the preseason. We did for our boy Funaki Stats, we did the little preseason predictions, and I was talking about hoping the Grizzlies let him cook a little bit more down there and let him be a little bit more aggressive as a scorer offensively. And then obviously the main thing will still be getting in there, sealing off, setting screens, facilitating from the high post, a lot of different things like that. But him backing down and then using that quick little spin move 3 to 5 times a game just adds a little bit of a wrinkle in there. And it's fun to watch too. It's just fun to watch him surprise. Yeah. He's just a fan favorite. So I was glad to see them do that a little bit at the beginning, right? I only got to watch basically the first quarter and a half. So it was good to see that.
Yeah, and so the other 2 guys I was actually looking at, the 2 points I was going to make is Dillon Brooks. He's still taking efficient shots. Like he went 6 of 10. He did take 6 3-pointers. He went 3 of 6 from 3. He doesn't look like he's as like riled up, if that makes sense. This is the preseason, so maybe that's what it comes to is he's not looking like he's like, oh my God, like I'm getting after people. Like, does that affect his offense? Is that the reason he looks like he does? And so I think that might be, if this is the Dillon Brooks we get, somebody who's going to get after you on the defensive end, but somebody who's going to take efficient shots in the offense, that's really what you want. And so I think that's a good spot to be in. And I hope that Dillon continues to kind of do that thing. I want him to continue to be that player, the one who actually decides I'm going to be in the flow of the offense. Dude, if we get that Dillon, the spot up, kick out to the 3-point spot up shooter, Dillon Brooks, that's the Dillon Brooks I like.
I loved it. I was in the group text. I didn't get on Twitter for it because I was hopping on a plane, but I was like, look at them Dillon passes, man. And that is exactly what I was hoping for. So the last pod I came on here and I was saying, I was a little bit worried about Dillon. I was a little bit worried after the first game. I thought he was still taking some crazy shots, but like I told you then as well, I wasn't as locked into the game as you obviously were. And so I went back and I looked at that. And then between that and then the little bit of the last game I got to watch, Dillon is looking to make that extra pass. He is looking for it much, much more. I mean, he is not putting his head down like he was. And it's even to the point where it's surprising. I saw BC just didn't expect to get a pass, and it was like right through his fingers. And so that is the role we want Dillon to be in, like you're saying. I know we talked about him possibly taking on a 6-man role this year, but I'm less concerned about where he is in the rotation. I'm more concerned with what he does when he's in the rotation and how he uses that spot in the rotation, and him facilitating like that, taking only the efficient shots, keeping the ball moving so that the best players get the best shots available. Primo, sign him again. So obviously we got to see it play out in this season, but if this is the Dillon we're going to get, sign him to another extension, man. This is the ideal Dillon Brooks.
You just said sign him, as in like, hey, we want to do this all over again. At some point, is it not like maybe he's just doing this to get the contract, and then after the contract, he's like, gotcha.
Because the last time to get the contract, he was launching shots. He just happened to hit them at like a 78% clip for a month, and it was ridiculous, right? So, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. And here's the thing. If he does that, he succeeds, the team succeeds, and he gets signed, it makes sense for everyone, including him, to keep playing that way, right? So, no, it's different this time around.
All right. Well, we will see about that. I'm not sure if I trust
Asterisk,
Dillon.
we got to see it happen in season. But if it happens in season, yes, because what are you going to do?
Yeah. As the chat says, Dillon, that is the fourth option, is the key. Like I like him. He does do a lot of fake stuff, such as the playing around. But I think that he's a good player. I just want to see him efficient. More Dillon efficient offense is always a good thing. And one thing we have, what do we have? We have the third man. Welcome, Ryan.
Can you hear me? That's the first question.
That is that's an important question. And yes, we can hear you.
It's not too bad.
No, you're good. You're good. We're
Not
live.
yet.
Ryan Meadows is here. He's joining us. He is actually heading to the golf course as we speak. And so I want to have him come on. This is supposed to be his time, but I have family out shopping, and I was trying to hurry up and get done. One, I want to be done for the Chris Vernon show. People are watching that. They're not really making sure. This isn't tune in. Got to tune in, audio, visual, whatever this is for Grizz 901 just yet. Just wait. But I had to make sure we got the air before he got on. But also Ryan is going to play golf, so trying to catch him before he goes. So if his audio sucks, just remember who doesn't suck. Zach Jaworski, State Farm. Just remember. All right, Ryan, we just got done talking about Dillon Brooks. I don't know how much of the last game you saw, but he did have more of an efficient game. I think that he is very much 10 shots. I think that's good stuff. He went 3 of 6 from deep, 18 points in the game. So anything that you saw in Dillon Brooks?
Yeah, he looks kind of more like he's trying to fit a role, right? He doesn't, at least so far. Now, that could be smoke and mirrors for me for the preseason. I don't know. It's been 2 games, and like they've played the Magic and the Heat. The Heat weren't playing anybody. The Magic sucked. So I don't know if they're in the regular season playing a better opponent, if he's going to be normal Dillon, but it seemed like to me he was trying to play a specific role, which was kind of the defensive intensity, stand on the left side, shoot threes if you're open. If you don't have the open three, then attack the closeout. He didn't look like a guy to me who was trying to hunt his own shot. Now, that's hard to break that habit. I mean, just ask Russell Westbrook about that. But I thought he looked fine in what they've been doing so far.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, honestly, I think it'll be fine. And I think he'll be okay as long as he can figure out a way to actually get into the flow of the offense. And so it should be a good time. All right. So let's keep it rolling. We have one more guy I want to hit on, and that's going to be Santi Aldama. And I know it's Santi season, right? And so we want to hit on him real quick. But Santi, another good game out of him. I think, can we all agree he's solidified into the starting unit opening night? Is everybody in agreement?
I would agree.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, look at that. Look at us all coming together. 11 points, 1 of 2 from deep, 4 of 6. He plays within the offense. And I will say something after you. I'm going to go ahead and let you go first, Nate, on that.
I really like the rebounding in that. Like I said, I only got to watch the first quarter and a half, but in that there's specifically one sequence where there was a board and he just rose up and got it. And that's the kind of aggressiveness this team needs, especially while Jaren is out. And so I really like seeing that. Why are you giving me that look?
I'm looking at my chat. I just responded to something. Nothing.
The chat. Okay, I'm gonna continue to ignore you like I should have in the first place.
Yeah.
So I really liked the way he was aggressively rebounding and going up and strong for the ball. Love that. He's played really well. He's consistently done it. You know, he's gonna get that shot in the regular season, and I hope he takes advantage of it because he's looked awesome. He looks like a real piece for this team. You know, I know in Summer League, I was talking about how I was hoping he would come compete for a role, not necessarily a starting role or a really big rotational role. But at this point, he's exceeded that expectation. So excited for him to get that opportunity. Plus, he had a sick reverse alley-oop slam in the practice yesterday that I got to see. So, yeah, man, Santi season's here. Right on board with Z's season. I'm all on board the train for both.
Yeah, I agree completely. Santi just played well. I think he plays better in the offense where he's not a focal point. What does worry me is whenever he does have to go back to the bench and he comes with a bench unit, is he looked at doing more? And so I'm curious with that. Is he going to be looked at doing a little bit more? And does that actually play into his strengths? And so I'm curious how that's going to go because I don't know if that's the type of player he is. Ryan, what you got?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because Santi, I mean, I thought he has done well for what he's been asked to do, right? It's basically stay out of the way, shoot, make a three. When you get it, time your backdoor cuts well, don't clog the paint for us, be okay on defense. And he has done that. Major props to him. I am interested if he just looks better because the 4 other guys in the starting lineup kind of covers his issues. I do think he's a little jumpy on defense. He doesn't read screens very well. Sometimes he wants to switch. Sometimes he wants to sag, drop. Sometimes he wants to pop. He's not decisive there yet. So that was my kind of thing. Is he just going to look really good in the starting lineup because Steven Adams can kind of smooth over some of his faults, and he's with Ja and Desmond and Dillon. And when he goes back to the second rotation, will he kind of be, more out there naked on an island? Is he going to look worse on the second unit, if that makes sense? Yeah.
I actually got a bit of a question for that. So when Jaren comes back, obviously he'll move to that second unit, but is that second unit going to be, and Chris actually just put this in the chat, what exactly I was thinking, that big of a change for him? Because he's still going to have Tyus, Zaire, BC, and he's going to have one of the rookies in there with him, right? Is that going to really be that big of a drop-off where he has to do that much more? Because in my head, I think he can still sort of fill a role. It'll be a more crucial role, right? He's not going to be able to make some of the mistakes of that second unit that he can probably make with his first unit and be covered up. But I don't think it's that big of a drop-off going to the second unit, honestly.
Well, I think just the wide open shot difference is going to be huge differences in his shooting efficiency. I mean, right now, what's he shooting? 70% from the field. I certainly don't expect that to hold up through an entire season. I don't expect that to hold up in a second unit where he's not going to get such wide open shots. And the other kind of avenue is he is kind of foul prone. So, I mean, what I'm kind of more interested, I guess, is, that's normal. We can deal with that, right? But Steven Adams, I mean, is just a walking rebound. And on the second unit, if he's playing with Brandon Clark, I mean, he's going to have to be, a big rebounder. And I'm just not sure that he is. So I think that's one of the things I'm kind of worried about a little bit in that second unit is the shot efficiency going to drop off? The defensive stuff he's still working on. He's a second-year player. And are we going to get killed on the boards with a lineup with Brandon Clark and Santi? That's what I'm not sure of. But I think he's fitting in fine right now with the starting five. I'm just curious how it will look when he moves back into 8th to 10th in the rotation slot.
Well, I think if he does move back to, I guess, the position of being probably the 5, because right now he's acting as the 4. I think you're going to see him be more of the 5 because, yes, and I'm talking about defensively for the simple fact that he's the bigger body than BC. On the offensive end, obviously BC is the rim runner. He's more of the guy who's playing at the free throw line. I think that's going to be his position. But on defensive end, you're going to see, honestly, Santi closer to the basket. So he's able to get those rebounds, in my opinion. And he's rebounded really well in the 2 games that he's played. And he's doing a good job of actually being there, getting into the post on the shots and making sure he gets up and gets the rebound. And so I think he'll actually be fine. I'm just curious offensively, where does he go? Does he fit into the flow of the offense? I think he should. But I don't want to spend too much more time on him because I think that he's a guy that will be fine as we see his growth. I never thought I would say that, but I do think that he's a guy that is going to take good, efficient shots. And I think you're going to see that a lot on the second unit, but that scares me. And we talked about it last pod. Who's the creator? Who's the shot creator on the second unit? Ryan, I'm going to ask you, who's the shot creator on the second unit with, and this is when Jaren gets back, you have Tyus, you have Zaire, you have Brandon Clark, you have John Conchar, and you have Santi Aldama. Who is your shot creator?
I guess it depends on your definition of a shot creator. If it's someone that can just break down, if it's a guy who can just break down a defender one-on-one and go get his own shot and create for others, there isn't one on the second unit. If you're talking about, every NBA, like 70% of the offense or 90% of the offense, whatever it is, starts with a high pick and roll or a side pick and roll, then Tyus Jones is your guy on that. Like, he's your setup point man. So it just kind of depends on your definition, but that's been my problem with this Grizzlies team from the beginning is don't get me wrong, I really like the versatility and all the stuff, all the tools, the shooting, the defensive versatility, all that. Another shot creator is, I think, key for this team. Now, I'm not saying they'll go out and get something like that, but you're not going to find 2 Ja Morants. So let's be realistic, right? But if you can get a guy that can create for himself and be able to drive and kick out to others or be able to finish on their own, that is a huge asset. Anybody that can put pressure on the rim is a huge asset. All right, almost more of an asset than a knockdown 3-point shooter is someone that can consistently put pressure on the rim. And that's why I've been encouraged by Bane so far. Even though he's missing his threes, I'm not worried about his threes. When he has looked like he's been deciding to work on his creation off of that. Right. Because guys have been hugging more on him, been locking trail on him to take away that curl off the screen 3-pointer and that step back. He looks like he's been trying to work on that, and he's done really well at it so far. Now, I'll be interested to see more complex defense throughout the season if he'll be able to make the passes. That's going to be the big thing for me, but I've been highly encouraged by Bane outside of just not making threes. His actual ability to get by the guy who's taken away his 3 and to drive to the rim and create his own shot at the rim.
Yeah, I agree. And Bane has now been he's entering the Jaren Jackson Jr. role where he's being subbed out first and he's coming at the end of the quarter. But yeah, I think this team, to really be who they really want to be, is somebody who can kind of be the shot creator on that second unit. I love the flow of the offense. It's just a free flow offense. But at times, especially, during the playoffs or, the lull points of the season, having somebody that you can just kind of always go to when the shot clock gets down to a certain point and feel good about the shot percentage and the shot selection. I think that's where this team really is going to excel. But in the end, Bane being on that second unit, running with them more, I think actually having a Zaire almost flip and roll into that first, into the more the flow with Ja, I think it's only going to help him. Jitty can do all. He does no wrong, and so I think that Jitty is a key piece to the first unit as well. I think that's having him being able to do some rebounding, hit an open shot here or there, do a little bit of something without doing a little bit of too much of something, which I thought some person might have done last year. I really do think that Jitty is a big key for this team. But two things I want to get to before we get out of here. I don't want to spend too much time. We're coming up on the 11:40 mark, so I don't want to continue to keep going. But we do have two preseason games that are coming up. Tuesday at the Magic. It's a 6 o'clock game, as well as Thursday at the Pistons, 6 o'clock game. I love 6 o'clock games. Let's just be honest, because they get done early. If they can go to bed early, those are awesome. But things I'm kind of looking for is hopefully we don't see that guy that wears the 12. I don't want to see him again in the preseason. I know Ryan didn't think we'd ever see him. Ryan thought that he was going to play on October 19th only, and he was proven wrong twice. That's okay.
No, I mean, I was not expecting it at all. Do y'all feel like
we know
the top guys have been playing more in the preseason than they have in the past couple of years? I know COVID threw everything off, but man, I just don't remember, top teams playing their top guys 20, 25 minutes, two games in the preseason. I don't remember that. I could be way off on. I mean, I could be way off on that, but I don't remember ever seeing top teams playing their top guys for 20, 25 minutes, basically the entire preseason.
Oh, I think that's all you're going to see him, though, honestly. I think that might be all you see of Bane and Ja, definitely. I love those two players. I just want to see them healthy going into the regular season. Let's figure that part out. I don't need John Kane or Julio Rodriguez or whoever's on the Miami Heat team that was playing. I only know their names. But that scares me. I need pros playing against our pros. It makes me feel comfortable in life. And so I don't want to see them again. But anything that y'all are looking for these next couple of games, anybody just in particular, whether it's a player or whoever that you're actually waiting for. Nate, you go first.
Yeah, I wonder if they let Bane play a little bit more just to see if you go through, they still might cut him off. Yeah, but he's hitting them in practice, I'm sure, and he hadn't hit them in actual game format, right? So that's the only thing that I think they might keep playing Bane for. Other than that, I'm still looking at the Laravia Roddy thing because I missed the rest of the game. It looks like I saw all the good stuff, but I literally was getting on the plane as the Roddy flurry happened in that last game where he popped off. I was like, let's go. I think he fits better. We'll see. I'm still interested to see how that pans out. But other than that, no, I'm ready for the regular season. I'm going to keep tuning into these preseason games, but I'm mainly just ready to get the real season going.
Ryan, you got anything?
Yeah, I've actually, I don't know if y'all talked about him already, but I've actually been a little disappointed in Zaire. I've kind of expected a little more from him, and he looks to be about the same from last year. His shot does look a little better. Maybe it'll be more consistent during the regular season, and he does look a little more active on defense. But every other aspect of this game, like his ball handling is awful. Like he might as well just have two ping pong paddles strapped to his hands while he's dribbling. But the thing with, I think Ja is actually going to play the rest of the preseason now.
What?
I don't know if they've come out and said that he won't. And the only reason I say that is I really think the Grizzlies are wanting to start hot. And I think they're trying to gel with Santi in that front five. I think they're trying to get going. That way they hit the ground running. And ultimately, that's why I think a lot of these Western teams I've kind of noticed on the Eastern Conference, they're not really playing their starters that much. I mean, the Bucks aren't really doing anything. They don't care, but the Western teams have been if they're available. So to me, it's just an indicator that the West is, we already knew the West was going to be a nightmare. And to me, all these top guys playing 20, 25 minutes, they might not play the last game. I certainly expect Ja to play in the next game. But I really think there is a real effort from Western Conference to hit the ground running, to have a really strong start to the season. So it wouldn't surprise me now if they played all the preseason games just to kind of work out the kinks with Santi to just game one against the Knicks. There's no, that first game haziness that everyone gets. And then the other thing, Ja looks faster to me. I don't know if he talked about that, but he somehow he looks faster, which is scary, because the transition take foul thing, I mean, he's really overplaying and playing passing lanes. And so he's going for those steals because he knows they can't bail him out with those transition take fouls anymore. So we murdered people in transition last year. I mean, sweet Lord, we're about to do it again this year, and it's going to be even more exciting, I think.
Yeah, I think that they are about to take off, and it's gonna be funny seeing them literally the highlights that we saw last year, and I think you're gonna see even more this year, which will be awesome. And so I think I think this team really has the potential to be so good just out of the chemistry alone that this team has. I think is very important. We're gonna obviously we have these 2 games left. A little betting advice that we've seen. If for some reason, for whatever reason, you see that Ja, Bane, the starters are not going to start, and you see our backups going to get more minutes, that's going to give a lot of these guys who are looking to be eager to play more. Okay, opposite of our starters. Our starters are great. But they're trying to work on things. They're trying to get things done. They're not caring about beating the other team into the dirt as much as the backups are. So if you see our backups become the starters, the backups behind them are just as good. Our 1 through 15 is probably the deepest in the league, being as good as they are and as young as they are. I'm hoping whenever that does happen, whether it's against the Magic or the Pistons or both, you're going to see those lines come out. And preseason basketball is not the time to be betting. But if you want to take a flyer on 11-plus point win from the Grizzlies when they're not the favorite team, it might be a good little sprinkle to put a couple dollars on, because I think that might be a chance where these young guys really just try to body the other team and show, especially these other 2 teams are young as well. And so they're actually working on things, but they're young. And so they're trying to figure out their lane. So anyway, anybody else have anything? Nathan, you got anything before we get out of here?
Nah, I'm excited to see it, man. I really want to see what Roddy and Laravia do. I'm hoping they both get a ton of minutes in these next 2 games. Other than that, Santi season, Z season on. Jaws average 30 with the new take foul rule. I completely forgot about that, but he might go for 35 a game.
Hey, it might be good. Awesome. I've already taken Ja to win MVP. Put a little sprinkle on it. What you can do, and that make sure you don't use a free bet, but use real cash if you're a betting person, and put $5 on it. It's probably like plus 1,200 midway through the year, and you can put more on it if you want, if you feel comfortable. Midway through the year, because you're not going to have Jaren here, you're going to see a spike, especially since he's getting a lot of more people to watch him. You're going to see the spike happening and have Ja actually being a true MVP candidate. You might be able to cash out at Christmas and pay for some of your Christmas maybe, and not even have to win. You might have a good little cash out. So just know that if he doesn't get hurt, that's good.
Kids are getting Dollar General toys for Christmas. You'll cash out
like
that $7.50 cash out.
You can put more on it. I'm not saying. I just want to throw out the $5 so people feel comfortable in life. But if you want to put more on it, such as I did, I think it's a smart cash out. Ryan, do you have anything before we get out of here?
No, I mean I could ramble about stuff, but it's good enough.
We know. We all talk about you in the chat, which we know you don't look at
No,
when
I
we're
don't.
doing the show, and then when you're not on the show. So just whatever you do, don't go look at the chat. All right, that's all we have this week. I have some bets out that are on Monday Night Football. If you want to go check them out, I love Daniel Carlson for 2+ field goals. So if you love the NFL, go ahead and hit that up as well. And you know what we like? Devontae Adams, first score tonight, plus 1,100. Take it to the bank. All right, that's all we got. Let's have a great week. We're not going to do any Zach Jaworski State Farm stuff, but you know what? We love the guy. Go check him out. He's our guy. He's our sponsor. You can go follow them if you need any kind of insurance stuff. But at 901-459-4227. You can check him out on the web at Zach, Z-A-C-H, ZachInsuresMemphis.com. 901-459-4227. Let's have a great one. Be nice and tell your friends.